The front door of a home is like the mouth that lets the whole house breathe. And yet right at that important mouth, so many families unknowingly place objects that scatter the wealth energy right at the entrance, making it hard for prosperity to flow in. Why does it matter so much? Because in Feng Shui, the front door is seen as the first place the whole home takes in energy. All the luck and wealth that want to come into the home must pass through this door first, and only then do they spread out into the spaces inside. You could say that, however, the door opens, the flow of energy stepping into the home follows along with it. That is exactly why the space right at the entrance must always be treated with care. It needs to be kept open, clean, and bright enough to welcome in good energy. At the same time, avoid placing objects there that could bounce the good energy back out, taint it, or stir it up right at the door. Because if the flow of energy is already troubled at the entry point, then wealth energy will have a hard time circulating and gathering inside the home. And the objects that end up in the wrong spot like this are actually quite a few. But in this video, I would like to share with you 3 that could be considered the most common ones affecting the money in your home. So stay with me until the end to find out which objects you should not place right where you open the door. Item 1. A mirror hung facing the entrance. This is something I think probably every home has, but if your family has that mirror placed right across from the front door so you can check your hair and clothes before stepping out, then this is usually seen in Feng Shui as something to avoid. Because according to form school Feng Shui, meaning the Feng Shui that looks at the shapes and positions of objects in the home, a mirror has one particular trait, which is reflecting energy. Reflecting energy here means that a flow of energy arriving at the surface of the mirror gets bounced right back, rather than continuing on its way. And as I shared at the start of the video, the front door is where wealth and luck follow the flow of energy into the home. So when you place a mirror right across from the door, the good energy that has just stepped through the door into the home immediately runs into the mirror, gets blocked, and is bounced right back outside. Wealth is pushed away before it ever makes it into the house. And because of that, the money coming into your home becomes hard to hold on to or hard to build up over time. You earn money, but every dollar that comes in has something it has to be spent on, and in the end you save and save, yet never have much to show for it. However, from what I have looked into, you do not need to get rid of the mirror at all, because a mirror is still very much needed in daily life. The issue is not whether you have a mirror, the issue is simply where you are hanging it. If your home has a mirror hanging right across from the door, then move that mirror to a side wall, meaning a wall perpendicular to the door, so it no longer faces the door head-on. That way, you can still use the mirror every day, and it no longer blocks the flow of energy coming into the home. Or if that wall is not spacious enough, you can move the mirror into a room entirely, such as the bedroom or the dressing room. There is one more small thing I want to share with you, which is that you should keep the mirror whole and clean, wiping it down regularly, and not let it crack, cloud over, or get stained. And also avoid hanging 2 mirrors facing each other, because 2 mirror surfaces reflecting back and forth create disturbance, and that can turn your life, as well as your finances, upside down. And next, I would like to share with you the second item, the one right under your feet, the one you step over at least a few times every day, yet few people think it could affect their money. Item 2. Shoes left scattered right at the entryway. Right in the area where you open the door, the whole family's shoes get left there the moment everyone comes home. One pair facing up, another turned over, another lying sideways, all piled up right where you step in. In some homes, I see people buy a big shoe cabinet, but then stuff it full of old shoes and new shoes all mixed together, going a whole year without a glance or a cleanup. But you may not notice that the spot right where you open the door and step in is where the home takes in its energy. The old folks called it the energy mouth, meaning the mouth through which energy from outside comes in. Shoes are the thing you carry everywhere, out on the street, at work, at the market, dragging through every place you go. Wherever you go, your shoes bring back the energy of that place, which the old folks collectively called mixed energy, meaning a jumbled, unclean flow of energy gathered from every place outside. When you leave those shoes carrying all that mixed energy right at the energy mouth, that mixed energy gradually piles up right at the door, so the clean flow of energy trying to come into the home is muddied and thrown into disorder from the very first step. When the energy at the entry point has been disturbed like that, the first thing affected is your benefactors and your opportunities. A benefactor here means someone who helps you, the good relationships and the business opportunities that find their way to your home. When the entryway is a mess and the energy cannot flow, then good people and good things have a hard time finding you. Whatever you do, you end up on your own, managing everything alone. And when you run into something where you need someone to lend a hand, there is no one there to help. If your home has shoes lying around like this, then leave out only 1 or 2 pairs that you wear regularly and neatly put the rest away in a shoe cabinet with doors. When the shoes are tucked away behind cabinet doors, the mixed energy carried in from the street is screened off as well, no longer scattering straight into the energy mouth. And thanks to that, the clean flow of energy can come into your home more freely. As for that shoe cabinet, if you are out buying one, you can choose a low model, no taller than about hip height, and set it neatly off to one side rather than letting it block the walkway, so the entrance stays open and roomy for good energy to circulate. Along with that, before putting shoes into the cabinet, wipe off the dirt and dust, let them dry, and only then put them away, so you avoid leaving damp, smelly shoes inside the cabinet. And there is one small thing many people overlook, which is that when you arrange shoes in the cabinet, you should point the toes inward rather than aiming them out toward the door, so the auspicious energy is kept inside the home. After rearranging those scattered shoes, the entrance to your home will feel open again, and the energy will circulate more steadily. And when the energy at the entry point is flowing well, the path of benefactors and opportunities for your family opens wider too. Good people come to you. Good things come your way. Your business gains people willing to lend support, and money gradually builds up and grows over time. Item 3. A clock hung facing the front door. Take another look and see whether the clock in your home is hanging right across from the entrance. This is a way of hanging it that many families still fall into, but it is a position the old folks advised avoiding. The reason the old folks avoided it is that a clock, or a bell, usually carries the meaning of an ending, of the finish of some matter. So every time you open the door and step into the home and see the clock hanging right across from you, it is no different from being reminded day after day of endings and partings, which is not something anyone wants in their home. Beyond that meaning to avoid, a clock is also an object always in motion, its hands turning without stop, its ticking sounding out steadily day and night. And according to Feng Shui, objects that give off continuous sound like this are usually grouped among objects with an active quality. When you hang an object with such a strong active quality right across from the door, you may be blocking the flow of energy coming into your own home. The good energy that should have come in smoothly now passes through the door and immediately runs into a clock spinning away with its steady ticking, which stirs up that flow of energy and takes away the balance it once had. When the energy coming into the home has been stirred up like that, the people in your family may become hurried, rushing through whatever they do, finding it hard to stay calm enough to think things through thoroughly. And as you know, business and money really do require a clear head. When you and the people in your home are always rushing and hurrying, you tend to make decisions out in the world without enough thought, signing, buying, selling, or investing before considering things carefully, and then money drains away and work runs into trouble in ways you often cannot explain. At the same time, that hurriedness also makes the people in the home quick to snap at each other over the smallest things. Parents and children, husband and wife, just a few words back and forth and it turns into raised voices. And when people in the home are quarreling with one another, who has the mind left to focus on making a living? Everyone goes their own direction. No one is of one mind with anyone else. And so the shared work of the whole family has a hard time moving forward. If the clock in your home is hanging across from the door, then move it to a side wall, well off from the spot directly facing the door. When the clock is no longer standing in the way of the energy coming in, the flow of energy from the door will enter your home more smoothly and more steadily. You should also have the face of the clock looking toward the door or toward the balcony, meaning facing an open, airy space where there is light and circulating energy. Inside the home, you should keep only one main clock in the living room. You should not hang one in every room, because the more objects there are in strong motion, the more the energy in the home gets stirred up in more places. And if there is a clock in the home that has stopped working, with its hands frozen in place, then you should replace the battery and get it running again, or put it away or throw it out. because the old folks saw a stopped clock in the home as an image that brings nothing good, as if the family's work and money had come to a halt as well, no longer moving forward. When the clock has been put back in the right spot and the energy coming into the home flows steadily again, your whole family will feel less of that rush and hurry. That way, you can think things through carefully before doing anything big. Your money drains away less because of it, and everyone in the household gets along and is of one mind about the shared work of the family. And so you and I have just gone through 3 objects that seem harmless, yet can block the path of wealth the moment you open the door. 3 objects, 3 different kinds of effects, but when you set about adjusting and rearranging them to suit and harmonize with the space, the entrance to your home will feel open again and good energy will have a path in. From there, the work and the wealth of your household will flow more smoothly as well. And here's where the video comes to a close. If you have any thoughts to add or any Feng Shui questions that have not been answered, leave them down in the comments so we can discuss them together in the next video. Thank you for watching to the end. I wish you and your family lasting peace, health, and abundant wealth. Goodbye, and I will see you again next time.